in that regard. As long as they're borrowing from ETFs, they have a cap, sort of, and that they can only borrow so many shares a day from ETFs. Um, but we can take advantage of them doing that, right? By buying long dated options contracts. Not only do we force a settlement period in between the length of the contract. So if they hedge synthetically in the beginning, they then have to hedge again, sort of in the middle. And the satisfaction of those synthetic shares has to occur while the contract is still being hedged. The other reason is that, by buying those contracts, and because they have to do that, we create far more FTDs than they can pump through the pipeline. And then, if buying contracts creates enough FTDs, then we get on the reg show threshold list. And once we're on the reg show threshold list, then there is no synthetic making of shares on GameStop. It cuts off the tap, it turns it off, and then, they're fucked. They can no longer suppress the price appropriately. They have to begin hedging with real shares, and big ups and big booms of their margin account. Why the bar rate on GME never goes up? Oh, yeah. I just called it synthetic advantage. They do have to buy FTDs, but not all of them. Cass. If you post a DAD on this, I bet your shill stalkers will at least double in numbers. They'll probably double in numbers just for me saying it. I can't wait for the day I don't have 30-minute lunch break. Thanks for making my days more enjoyable and educational. You got it, little orphan Danny. If they borrow, let's say, 200 shares at a 6% borrow rate, then come back days later and borrow 200K at 9, does the rate go up for the previous shares? No, each contract is written separately. Citadel is immune to reg show. They're not immune to reg show threshold requirements. So they're immune. Where Citadel's immunity lies with reg show is in the reporting requirements, right? They're not required to report many of their positions, as they are considered like a trusted entity. Uh, and so the only reporting requirements they have is to SROs and not directly, in line with reg show reporting to the public. What about all the talk from Dr. T months ago about FTDs getting sloughed off into the obligations warehouse forever? Well, that's only what they can push through that continuous net settlement is this thing on, right? So like you can't just push all the FTDs through, right? Like especially if there's a big pile up of them, like they can only push through a fraction. And that's kind of what we saw happen last January is that there were so many FTDs that they couldn't handle it. They couldn't keep up. I kind of expect us to run next week, and then I expect a lot of price action in January.